New data from Brazil's National Institute for Space Research indicates that the Amazon is burning at a ridiculously high and unusual rate. Now, this is fire season in the Amazon, but what we're seeing in terms of the rate of fires is unusual. So to give you some more information, an estimated 20% of the Earth's oxygen is produced by the Amazon. So it's important to maintain it. But Jair Bolsonaro, the fascist right-wing leader of Brazil, has done deforestation, and there is some suspicion that he could be behind some of these fires because there are indigenous groups that live in the Amazon. We'll get to that in just a moment, but first, some more facts on the fires. The Amazon has experienced more than 74,000 wildfires so far this year, an 84% uptick over the same period in 2018.
We're literally burning up the planet.
It's crazy. This is so
and it's a vicious cycle because you need the Amazon to soak up the carbon, except because of global warming, the Amazon is on fire and can't soak up the carbon, which then makes it hotter, which then creates more fires.
So just to give you a sense of how high this increase is, that's an 85% increase from last year and significantly higher than the 67,790 blazes since this point in the year during 2016, when there were severe drought conditions in the region associated with a strong El Nino event. So there's really a combination of things going on here, right? So climate change exacerbates weather conditions. It exacerbates issues like drought. And then you have what's happening with the high rate of these fires, and that's going to further exacerbate climate change because we rely so much on the Amazon to clean our air, to provide clean air and oxygen. So one other thing that I should note, there's an image from the World Meteorological Organization showing the smoke cloud. So if you look at the images, you could actually see it. There it is.
Wow.
That's how devastating and giant it is.
The planet is on fire. There is no planet B.
It shows that the smoke is reaching the Atlantic coast and Sao Paulo.
So the Greenland's on fire, the Amazon's on fire. You have to understand the context. 2016 was considered an unbelievable year for fires because of the El Nino events. Now it's 85% worse than the disastrous 2016 year. Look, I'm telling you, if you haven't heard this before, I used to be a Republican, and back when I was skeptical about climate change. You know what made me change to realizing climate change is real? The data, the temperature. 16 out of the 17 hottest years ever recorded were in the last 17 years. 16 out of the 17. Every year it gets hotter. Every year it gets hotter. Mm-hmm. If 17 years ago you didn't believe, well, you could say, all right, look, you should have because the scientists were warning you back then. That's fair. Now the jury's in. The planet is on fire. And yet we elect people like Donald Trump go, nope, I'm gonna pull out of the Paris Climate Accord. I'm gonna support fossil fuel.
And it's not just Trump. I mean, Jair Bolsonaro is the Brazilian version of Trump, and we'll get to that in just a second. But we mentioned how this is impacting Sao Paulo. We have an image showing what the air quality or the sky looks like there. So imagine being in Sao Paulo and dealing with that. The research center has also said that it spotted more than 9,500 new forest fires in the country since last Thursday. I mean, that's unbelievable. And what is Bolsonaro saying about this? The man who stole the election from Lula da Silva, who's still, by the way, a political prisoner. President Bolsonaro said on Wednesday that non-governmental organizations, NGOs, could be behind burning the Amazon region to draw attention against the government of Brazil. The president did not cite the names of NGOs and questioned if there are grounds for the allegations, said there are no written records of the suspicions.
In other words, he made it up. Mm-hmm. And this is what they do. They set the world on fire and then they blame the people trying to put it out. And he has a record of imprisoning political opponents. So God knows what he might do. Oh, you're standing in the way of drilling in fossil fuel industry. Well, I'm gonna blame you for the fires that are largely the fault of my policies. And God knows what he'll do next. So these are the monsters that are in charge now. Never vote for a right winger, no matter where you are. They serve the rich, they serve multinational corporations, and they're literally destroying the planet.